What's everybody? Welcome back to the Grand Torino. Delighted you could join me for another episode. Before we get started, as I always do, please don't forget, press the like button, press the subscription button and the bell, and you'll be reminded of future broadcasts here in the Grand Torino. And as always, I always want to direct you over to the Grand Torino website, World Wide Web, grandtorino.ie. Thank you for your continued support over there on that platform. Many more merchandise here for you to peruse through. And please, thank you all again for your continued support to help maintain this platform going forward. With that in mind, I want to touch in with a couple of news reports that are dropping in today. A couple of early heads up on some new direct provision centres. And I want to finish off on the tragedy that happened over in the UK with 39 migrants being found dead in the back of a lorry. But we start off with this one here about the residents of Ballinamore continuing their 24-hour vigil in protest against the direct provision centre. And as it's always laid out, the residents make it well clear that they are not racist. I'm not racist, you're not racist. Please try and get out of quantifying your position that you're not racist. You are not racist. You are concerned members of your community. You are concerned human beings to say, do you have the resources, the facilities to maintain and look after these people? Or are you going to put your own needs below the needs of complete strangers? Let's just put it at the end of the day, these are strangers. And more, our government seems perfectly more willing to keep and maintain the GDP numbers, to import tax drones, to keep this bubble that is coming, but I digress. With that said, I want to get on to today's subject. So the people of Ballinamore are still continuing and have set out a 24-hour vigil against the direct provision centre being opened in the hotel in the area. And it's to note that a prominent journalist has spoken out, as reported here. A prominent journalist backs Ballinamore residents in protest against government's approach to housing asylum seekers. This from the News Northern Sound, 22nd of October 2019. A prominent journalist has backed plans by Ballinamore residents to protest the way the government deals with accommodating asylum seekers. Irish independent journalist and Ballinamore native Paul Williams says that the residents are absolutely right to protest this change. Over 200 people have put their name down to maintain a 24/7 presence at a demonstration at the Rock Quarter of the town. There are plans to accommodate up to 130 asylum seekers at a newly refurbished apartments near a shopping centre in Ballinamore, but residents say there isn't enough services for them in the area. Paul Williams says that Ballinamore residents have proved themselves to be welcoming of asylum seekers, and that it is wrong to label the residents as racist. It is wrong to label anyone as racist, and these are just labels used by the usual you-know-who to suppress your concerns or your dissent. Try not to quantify your position by saying, I'm not a racist, but it's BS. Do not be put aside from that. This is your community. Can you cater for these people? Is the government's imposition on your community too much for you to bear? Do you have the right to object? Or is the government just going to steamroll over, as it has done with the 2015 signing of planning applications by the then Minister Alan Kelly to bypass any planning regulations on any hotel that once it seemed needed for protected classes? And as we know through the UN Migration Pact, that all migrants, economic, refugees, asylum seekers are all lumped into one bracket now as migrants and cannot be questioned. So this is you showing your dissent. This is you showing your concern for your fellow man. What is there for them to do here? Can we cater for their needs? Or is this just a dumping ground for the government, the NGOs, and the media class to keep perpetuating the myth that these people, and I've been to many DP centres, specifically down in Rosslare, a majority men, one family exists there, Georgians, Albanians, Lithuanians, all there in amongst single men. This is what is actually appearing on the ground, not what the propaganda apparatchiks are displaying in front of your eyes. Anyway, you only have to go look for yourself. You only have to listen to other concerns. And I'll continue on with the article here.
900 people live in that town. This town was left on its own. industrial jobs. Today, there are none. As the people of Ballinamore said in their statement, there is only major employer is a local supermarket. So there is no infrastructure there. Now, I'm thinking about, for example, people who are deeply traumatized, young kids who have come from a war zone, who are now living there. What psychiatric and counselling facilities are there alone just to look after them?
Words there from the independent journalist. And the good people of Ballinamore continue their struggle against the implementation of direct provision centre in their area. Moving across there now, we have Words and the Whispers, having rang the Department of Justice this morning, and they were able to confirm or deny the following: that up to 70 migrants will be housed by the Department of Justice at the Achill Island Hotel at Achill, East Pollock, County Mayo. Mayo again, local hotels having the government proffered some 65 million in another recent magic production of money out of thin air. They were able to bribe and blackmail business owners of vacant hotels. They're being transported to the hotel and will take up accommodation from tomorrow. The Achill Island in County Mayo is the largest of the Irish Isles and is situated off the west coast of Ireland. It has a population of the Keel and the surrounding area of 541. So 70 new migrants to take up residence in this hotel. As listed here, you can see the beautiful picture from the local auctioneers. And the property is described as Achill Island Head Hotel is a well-established and successful trading bar, hotel, bar and nightclub, exceptionally well located in Achill Island within walking distance of Keel Beach and the Keene Bay. Further variations, the property extends to 22 ensuite bedrooms. It finishes up the review here, says the area has achieved significant additional interest in recent years since the launch of the Wild Atlantic Way, the world-long famed coastal touring route along 2,500 kilometre route. The nearest town at approximately 45 kilometres is Westport, County Mayo. Beginning to see a theme? West Airport Knock is just an hour's drive. Well, I'll bring you, let's go have a look at the hotel as it stands fresh this morning. Nicely situated off the Wild Atlantic Way. 70 people to be boarded and accommodated in this residence. This is how it stands this morning. Moving around towards the back of the premises. Lots of amenities for children and families to set up. Apologies for the sound, but our roving reporter is bringing you pictures there from the Achill Head Hotel on the Achill Islands, where 70 new migrants cannot be confirmed or denied are about to take up residence in this location. You tell me, is this right for them, or is this right for the people of Achill Island as well? And I want to finish up on this story here, tragic news from the United Kingdom, but again, I believe highlights the flaws, holes, weaknesses of our situation, along with Brexit. This human trafficking, as I call it, it's blatant human trafficking. We only get to see the families from Syria. We don't get to see the men and women and children that are desperately crossing the Med and dying in the hundreds of thousands on the belief that when they get to the chosen land of Europe, that they're given free houses. That's not always the case. That's happened to these 39 men from Bulgaria who were found dead this morning. I'll read you from this the Daily Mail this morning. This horrendous report, as reported from the Mail Online, horror as 39 bodies, including one teenager, are found in a lorry container in Essex, 4 days after it entered the United Kingdom as a driver, 25, from Northern Ireland, is arrested in one of the biggest ever murder probes. The article reads, an ambulance crew made the horrific discovery after they were called to the Waterglade Industrial Park near the Dartford crossing in the early hours of this morning. The Scania lorry is originally from Bulgaria and had entered the UK at the Welsh port of Holyhead, Wales, where ferries arrive from Ireland. It has been suggested that the lorry may have been refrigerated and that those on board could have frozen to death while trying to get into Britain through the weak point of Ireland. The lorry's driver, a 25-year-old man from Northern Ireland, has been arrested on suspicion of murder. Police have not said where those who died are from or where they are thought to have been travelling to. Ladies and gentlemen, another truly horrific story coming from the United Kingdom. And again, this is people that are desperate to get into these places and are going through desperate measures. And this is being done by open borders policy. Even Angela Merkel herself has said this is failed. Multiculturalism is failing. And we here in Ireland seem to be pressing on ahead to allow this traitorous government. They are just puppets, sock puppets for EU. And I say, what can we do? This is Europe. We need to start uniting together and speaking as a common people. Of course, Ireland, as was spoken very eloquently in yesterday's broadcast from the people of Carrickmacross, more Irish people are more than welcoming, but they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. The government is ramping up these plantations of these proxy warriors. This is not the refugees' fault themselves. Who amongst us, if in a dire position, wouldn't want to try and get to a better place? But at what cost? And who does it benefit? It's not benefiting you and me. It's not benefiting local communities as their resources are plundered from the asylum industry. The asylum industry is stripping rural Ireland of its resources and taking the Irish nation, its good nature, for not only for granted, but taking advantage of it. People are beginning to wake up. Logos is rising. Speak your truth. Europe is heading towards a recession. Ireland will be hit very hard yet again. Interest on 200 billion national debt, 6 billion plus another 2 billion on direct provision centres, plus overseas aid of 2.5 billion being increased as per Simon Coveney. 2.2 on the Children's Hospital, which is an affront to any rational human being why that was placed on the James's site. An absolute disgrace for the people that have to try and travel to get in there. The anti-Irish Fine Gael government, fake opposition, Fianna Fáil, Sinn Féin, Labour, and the commie left all agree that despite the looming disaster, they will, against the wishes of the Irish people, continue to import thousands of dependents, aka fake UGs, and put them in front of Indigenous Irish families. This is an affront to our entire nation and is endangering the lives of Irish people, the owners of this country, who are in urgent need of housing or hospital treatment, by putting foreign nationals, economic migrants, fake refugees, and scammers to the front of the queue. Treason. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you with these few thoughts. We are ruled by a merchant class, a class of people that view Irish men and Irish women as nothing more than economic units. They want us atomized, broken, so that we are easier to control and manipulate. They want to divide us along the political lines left and right, of race, of gender. Anything that means we do not unite. When you run Ireland and its people like a business, you view men and women who are homeless, suicidal and suffering as just by a byproduct of the business or collateral damage. What they most want is to cripple our people with a sense of apathy and hopelessness. To destroy the will to fight and to force change, the Irish people need to stand up, stand together. God bless us.